Let your body settle now. Your shoulders. Notice how they have crept up a little towards your ears across the long day. They don't need to do that anymore. Let them drop, just a small letting go. Your hands, wherever they are resting tonight, feel the small warmth held in the palms. There is nothing in them. The fingers can go soft. Your jaw, you might be holding it tighter than you realize. Let it open the smallest amount, just enough that the teeth are no longer touching. Your feet, heavy and still. The sheet already knows them. The small pocket of warmth you have made under it is yours. The blanket itself, or the sheet, or the thin cotton cover, whatever is over you tonight. Its weight is gentle. You are already here. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing you need to solve right now. Nothing to plan, nothing to remember. It will all be there in the morning. Tonight there is only this. And as you breathe, the breath comes in slow and a little cool, and out even slower. You are on a small Greek island in the Aegean Sea. The year is 1924. The late summer sun has been down for half an hour. The sea is going from gold to deep blue to ink. The boats are tied to the harbor wall. The air smells of warm stone, of wild thyme from the hills, of the sea, and of bread that was baked sometime in the afternoon. The village sits low along the slope, looking out over the bay. It is a small cluster of cube-shaped houses, walls thickly painted in lime white, freshened every spring. The shutters are painted a deep sea blue. The doors are the same blue. A few of them are open. A few of them are not. The lanes between the houses are narrow and laid with flat, pale stones. The joins between them brushed in white so that even the ground looks softly lit. Tonight the stones are still warm from the sun, just a little. The last of the day's sunlight reaches in low and yellow from the west, slanting across the village in long, soft beams. It catches the curve of a whitewashed wall. It lights up a spray of bougainvillea climbing along a doorway, the flowers a deep, dusty pink. It rests for a moment on a clay water jar and then is gone. A small gray cat moves slowly along the top of a low wall, finds a patch of warmth where the stone has held the sun, and folds itself down. Nothing here is in a hurry. A short walk down the lane, the land opens into a small stone harbor. The harbor is a curved arm reaching out into the bay, with a low stone mole of pale, weathered blocks. The water inside is calm tonight, a slow, dark mirror going from blue to black. Beyond the mole, the open Aegean breathes in long, easy swells. The wooden fishing boats, the caïques, are tied along the inside of the harbor wall. Broad-bellied, planks of pine joined and pitched, the prows lifting in a gentle curve, the hulls painted in soft blues and whites, and the occasional faded red. Each one carries the name of its house painted in dark lettering along the bow. The boats rock the smallest amount on the quiet water. the way a sleeping body breathes. Hemp ropes coiled neatly on the deck. Brown fishing nets folded at the stern. A wooden bucket sits upturned beside a single oar, the wood worn smooth from years of hands. The tide does the small, slow thing the Aegean tide does, almost nothing, only enough to lift each boat half an inch and let it back down. The ropes creak very softly. The water laps against the stone of the mole, then goes quiet, then laps again, very slowly all night. A short walk back up the lane. Your house waits. It is a small whitewashed house, a spitaki, a little house, one story, with a low door painted that same deep Aegean blue. The walls are nearly 2 feet thick, stone and earth finished in many slow years of whitewash. They keep the house cool through the long day and warm through the night. From inside, a soft, warm light is glowing out through the half-open shutters, yellow and steady. You push the wooden door open. The floor is flagstones, large and uneven, smoothed by generations of bare feet and broom. You slip off your leather sandals and set them aside, the way they have been set aside every evening of your life. The room is one room, a low wooden table, a pair of rush-seated chairs, a wooden bench along one wall with a folded woven blanket on top, undyed cream wool with a band of dark blue at each end, a shelf with a few plates of unglazed clay, a small painted icon in a corner niche, the colors soft with age. The ceiling is pine beams with dried reeds laid across them, then a layer of earth, and on top more whitewash. Simply enough. In the wall opposite the door, the small open hearth waits. The hearth is a low arched alcove built into the wall, lined with smoke-darkened stone, with a flat shelf above for the breadboard and the salt. In the middle, a small heap of olive wood embers glows softly red, breathing the way good embers breathe, slow and quiet. The smell of olive wood is clean and sweet, faintly nutty, very old. A blackened iron trivet stands over the embers. On it sits a small glazed brown clay pot, left to keep warm at the edge of the heat. Beside the hearth, a low wooden stool waits, the seat worn shiny by use. You lift the pot. It is warm and round. You pour a thin, slow stream of mountain tea, cideritis, the iron gray leaves gathered from the high hills in summer, into a small glazed cup. The color is a soft, pale gold. It smells faintly of meadow grass and warm stone. You set the pot back. The embers shift once very softly. A thin curl of smoke goes up, finds the chimney, and is gone. You hold the warm cup in both hands. It doesn't matter how long. There is nothing you need to solve right now. Nothing to plan, nothing to remember. It will all be there in the morning. Tonight there is only this. Just outside, the smells of the island drift in through the open door. The strongest is the wild thyme that grows everywhere on the dry slopes above the village. It has been warmed by the sun all day, and now, With the cool air of evening, it releases its smell into the lanes, herbal, peppery, faintly sweet. Beside it, the lighter green smell of wild oregano, and beneath both, the older smell of dry stone. Closer to the house, an olive tree leans over the wall of the small yard. The leaves are a soft silver green. The bark is gray, twisted into slow rivers of grain. The tree is older than anyone in the village remembers. It smells faintly of oil and bark and all the summers it has stood through. Then comes the sea. Salt, the cooler smell of wet stone down by the harbor, the faint, clean smell of seaweed drying on the rocks. Old smells, honest ones. They have been here as long as the island. Up in the hills, the small, steady song of the cicadas begins to slow and thin out as the air cools. The thyme rises with each soft breath of wind, and so does the cooler stone, and so does the sea, all of it moving gently through the open door, through the room, and out into the dark. On the low wooden table, the simple evening meal is set out. A round loaf of bread, baked that afternoon in the village oven, the crust a deep golden brown, the inside still soft. A wooden board sits beside it with a short bread knife resting on the edge. A shallow clay dish of fava, a warm puree of yellow split peas, slow-cooked with onion and a little olive oil, dressed now with a fresh pour of oil and a sprinkle of dried oregano from the hills. Beside it, a small plate of black olives glossy in their own oil, and a thick slice of soft white feta, simply broken from a larger piece. On a smaller dish, a slow-cooked piece of octopus from the harbor, dressed with a little oil and a splash of wine vinegar, beside a wedge of cool watermelon, the red flesh deep, the rind pale green. Simply enough. A small glass of wine sits beside the plate, a pale wine from the island's own vines, cool from the cellar, faintly resinous. The bread is fresh. The fava is warm. The olives are salt and sun. The meal will end when it ends. The light in the room comes from a single oil lamp on the table. The lamp is a small one of brass and glass, a low round reservoir of pale kerosene, a tall glass chimney rising above it, and inside, a flat cotton wick trimmed neatly that morning. The flame is the size of a small almond. The glass throws a soft halo of yellow light onto the whitewashed walls. Outside, hung beside the door, a second lamp has been lit, a hurricane lantern, the kind the fishermen carry. It sways the smallest amount in the evening breeze, throwing a soft pool of yellow light onto the pale stones of the lane. Far down at the harbor, one more light, a small oil lamp at the bow of a caïque that has stayed out late to set its nets. Just a single point of orange on the dark water. The sea will bring him back when he is ready. The flame in the lamp on the table flickers very gently with each breath of the night air that finds its way under the door. Bright, softer, bright again. The light catches the small painted icon in the corner, the gold leaf around its edge holding the flame for a moment, then letting it go. There is nothing you need to solve right now. Nothing to plan, nothing to remember. It will all be there in the morning. Tonight there is only this. Through the open door, the sound of the sea comes up from the harbor. It is the oldest sound on the island. A long inhale against the stone mole, a softer out-breath, a small lap against the side of a wooden hull, then quiet, then again. The Aegean has been doing this for 10,000 years. You can let your thoughts ride along with that sound. Each small wave carries away a small worry that has been sitting on your chest all day. You don't have to push it out. The sea simply takes it, and then comes back lighter for the next one. Higher up in the hills, the last of the cicadas have gone quiet. A single small owl calls once from the direction of the chapel on the hill, a soft, round note, and then no more. The night is finding its own quietness, and it is including you in it. Far off, the very faint sound of a donkey shifting in a sleeping stable, the small, soft chime of the bell at its neck. Then nothing. Then, after a long while again, even fainter. The sea breathes in. The sea breathes out, and so do you. There is no hurry about either of these things. In the corner of the room, a low wooden bed has been made up against the wall. A thin straw-stuffed mattress on a frame of pale pine. Above it, a folded woolen blanket, undyed cream with a band of dark blue at each end, woven by hand in the village. A small linen pillow stuffed with carded wool rests at the head. The cloth has been aired on the line that afternoon and smells faintly of warm cotton, of sun, and a little of the sea. You let yourself down onto the bed. The straw takes your weight with a soft, dry rustle. The wool blanket is heavier than it looks and warm. The pillow finds the place behind your head that has been waiting all evening. Your feet are warm. Your hands are still. On the table, the oil lamp is burning lower. The flame is the size of a small seed now. The brass catches what little light is left and holds it softly. The embers in the hearth have settled into a bed of gray ash with a faint orange heart. The clay pot has gone quiet. Outside, the hurricane lantern by the door has already been put out. The lane is dark. The small lamp on the late caïque is gone too. He has come in, tied his rope to the iron ring on the mole, and pushed his own blue door shut, the way you have pushed yours. You don't need to make the morning happen. The morning will come without your help. The boats will be untied. The nets lifted. The bread baked again. The island has been doing this work for a long time. It does not need you to do it. Tonight your only work is this, to be here, in this small whitewashed house, on this quiet island, with the sound of the waves coming up gently from the harbor. To let the breath come in and go out. The wool is warm. The pillow is soft. The flame of the oil lamp is very small now and getting smaller, the wick thinking about going out. You can let it. The hill is behind you. The sea is in front of you. The village is around you, quiet under its whitewashed walls. The waves keep arriving, very softly, on the pale stones of the mole. And sleep, when it comes the way the dusk came down over the bay, slowly, in soft layers, without anyone needing to do anything at all. Sleep well.